Hello, everybody. Welcome to Allerton Shul. Welcome our regulars, our visitors, those visiting in person, and the visitors online. We start this week with two special Mazel Tovs. Firstly, to Louis Collins, who's celebrating his 80th birthday, and to Bernard and Sarah Michelson, who's celebrating their granddaughter's engagement. Reuben Samuels is, Baruch Hashem, doing a lot better, and we wish him continued refuah shalema. Mishpatim, which is our sedra this week, is full of legal procedures and ethical processes that form a vital part of Judaism. Rashi tells us that the conjunctive letter Vav, ve'ele hamishpatim, and these are the laws, teaches us that there's a link between the 10 Commandments we read in last week's sedra with the more mundane and legalistic ethical directives that we read in this surah, namely that they all come from Sinai. So what exactly are ethics? So let's start with an anecdote of a man who had a dry cleaning business, and one day he was cleaning a suit, a businessman's suit, and he finds a £20 note in the pocket. So he thinks to himself, do I have to tell my business partner about this £20? For some people, that would be ethics. The owner would perhaps long ago have forgotten about the money, and he could argue, finders keepers. It's mine, nobody will be the wiser. However, the Torah tells us there's a concept of Hashavas Aveda. One has to always make sure to give money back and not rest until one finds the correct owner and make a full restitution. Let's take another example from this week's Sedra. The Torah tells us we cannot lend to one another with interest. And one may argue that's unfair, because I could have taken this £1,000 and put it in the bank and made money. The banks are criticized for many things, criticized for their bonus structures, criticized for being too tough on small businesses, not providing enough mortgages. I've never heard of anyone having a problem with a bank charging interest. That's what they exist for. So why can't I lend to my friend with interest? And the answer perhaps lies in the following example. Imagine one day a friend came knocking on your door. He was teary-eyed, he was embarrassed, he was stressed. You realize he's in real trouble. He tells you his business has gone to the wall. He's about to have his house repossessed. He tells you if he can't raise £5,000 by tomorrow morning, that's it, he'll have nowhere to sleep tomorrow night. And as a good friend, even if you're not particularly wealthy, you'd dig deep. Maybe you'd offer him a loan of £1,000. And then you'd wish him the best and hope he finds a suitable way out. But if that person knocking on your door was, God forbid, your family, your mother, your brother, it wouldn't be enough just to say, well, I'll give you £1,000 and wish you all the best. It's now your responsibility. You would find somebody, you'd find a contact in the city council, a lawyer, somebody who could help. As a last resort, of course, you know that they'll be coming to sleep in your house. And this is a key to understanding Jewish ethics. The reason we always have to make sure we give things back, the reason we can't make money off each other, is because at Sinai we accepted responsibility for each other. Between us, as Jews, therefore, we relate completely differently to how we relate with the rest of the world around us. We have a special relationship with each other. That's what it means that these mitzvot were also given at Sinai. Not simple ethics, but a highly developed moral code that goes the extra mile and takes into account the notion, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh LaZeh. all Jews are responsible for one another. I'll finish with a short story. A few years ago, I attended a rabbinic conference in the New Forest, and one of the guest speakers at the event was the remarkable leader of Stamford Hill Hasidic Jewry, who was called Rabbi Pinter. Sadly, he passed away at the beginning of the pandemic from COVID. And he told us a story. He said that he happened to be the head of a very large school in Stamford Hill called Yesodei HaTorah. At one point, the council decided they were making available a grant of £100,000, and any public body could apply. And they'd be providing 5 new minibuses, each one worth £20,000. And to differentiate the most worthy cause, the council set 5 criteria by which applications would be judged. And of course, his school, Yesodei HaTorah, applied. And when he arrived at the meeting where it was to be decided who was getting the buses, he saw his school, Yesodei HaTorah, was number 5 on the list. Because he was a councillor, he was on the city council of Hackney Borough, he was allowed to see the applications. And he looked through and he noticed another organization, the Bobover Hasidim, had also applied, but they hadn't come very high up the list. He looked further, he realized that they had met all the criteria, but because they hadn't bothered filling the forms in very well, they'd made a poor case for themselves. So he was bothered by this, and he called over the other councillors, the organizers, and he showed them that really Bobov was deserving of a minibus. And the councillors, they all agreed with him, but they said, you realize, Rabbi Pinter, if they move into the top 5, you're going to miss out. Would you not rather just maybe leave things as they are? He said, no, they rightfully should receive the minibus. A few days later, he got a call, someone from the council who said, Rabbi Pinter, I have your minibus. So he explained, it's obviously a mistake, they've not corrected it, really, it's going to Bobov. And the person said, no. He said, when I heard what you had done, I was so impressed, I decided I was going to find money to make sure you also get a minibus. So I've scrutinized all the council budgets. I found an underspend in a different department, and we managed to get £20,000 together. So you should also have your minibus. That's the reward for promoting the special ethics we read about in Mishpatim. Because then people realize that we truly are the chosen people. When we show we can think beyond ourselves, we make a Kiddush Hashem, we sanctify God's name. And this is our task, and we have to take it seriously. We're now going to move into the Friday night service. We're going to start Yedid Nefesh, page 256 in the Green Chief Rabbi Siddur. Yedid Nefesh av harachamam Meshach avdecha eretz einecha Yaretz avdecha kema yayal Yishtachave el mul hadarecha Yerav elai yedidesecha mina efesuf vechotam Adonai ziv haolam nafshi chaylas avasecha Ana refana beharisla nay amzivecha osis chazek vesis rapei vehayesala simcha salam Vosik Yemuna Rachamecha V'chosana Al Beinahu V'cha Ki Zekama Nichsavti Era es mehera V'ziver es Zecha Chamda libi V'chosana V'yati salam Igalena V'rais avim yolai Esukas Sheloi mecha Ta'ir eretz Migavodecha Nagila V'nismechavach Maherehoiv Kivamayed V'chavaneinu Kihimeyalam Yadadalai Lechon eranen al Adonai, Nari aletzor yishayenu. Come on, Messiah. Arba'im shana akot b'dair v'hoim aram t'yelef v'heim lo yod yuderachai asher nishpati ve'api emeyadoyon yamenu chasi Shilul Adonai Shinyin Yechadash Shilul Adonai Kal Haaretz Shilul Adonai Baruch Shemai Sapru B'Yevnei Yeshua Asai Sapru V'Goyim K'Evaydai V'Chol Ha'amim Nifli Ahosav King Adonai Hadam Hayahid Nairahu Al Kal Elohim Ay Kikal Elohim Hoamim Elihilim Va'adonai Shamayim Asa Ahid V'Hada Le'efanav Aizesif Erez B'Migdashai Avon Adonai mitzvachais amim. Avon Adonai kavod la'ais. Kabbalat Shabbat, say mincha, vayelchat tzvaysav, ay, shtachveladai, v'hadaras kodesh, chilum mipanav kol haaretz, imru v'goyim, Adonai malach, Aftikay tevel baltimoit, Yodina mim b'nei shorim, Yismachu Hashem la'im l'sogel oretz, Yiramayam, Omelayai, Ya'alai sadai, B'chol Hashebai, ay, Al Yeranenu, Ya Adonai kiva spite haaretz yishvay tevel b'tzedek v'yamim b'meish nosai elai la 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 Adonai Malach. Yato Adonai Eleyai Nalekal Haaretz Ve'yad Na'aleisa Al-Kol Elohim Ayave Adonai Sinura Naveshayis Chasidov Miad Rishayim Yatzilei Ezar al Tzadik Yishlei V'simcha Simchu Tzadikim B'Adonai V'hayadu Lezecher Kodeshai Mizmor B'chatzotzeros v'kohen shofar Ori ulifnei hamelech Adonai Yiramayom Elohai Tevein v'yishveva Ne'arei simechachav Yachad Harim Yiranenu Livnei Adonai Kiva Lishmai Taretz Yishbai Tevel Betzedek Ve'amim B'mei Shorim Adonai Malach Yeshem Yaharein B'chai Hadov U'Shmuel B'Kairei Shemai Kaireim El Adonai Ve'yahar Esav, V'chaygenu v'sanamai, Adonai Eloheinu, Gato Anisam, Einai Se'is Elohem, V'noyekem alali Eloesam, Ra'ayim emo, Adonai Eloheinu, V'hi shetakavu l'har kodeshai, Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, Mi yizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nai Edim, Havul Adonai Kavod ay, Havul Adonai Kavod Shemayis, Havul Adonai Adas Kodesh, Kol Adonai Alamoyim, Ela Kavod Irim, Adonai Almayim Rabim, Kol Adonai V'hakoyach, ay, Kol Adonai, V'hodor Kol Adonai, Sover Arosim, V'yishaver Adonai, Ezazel Adonai, V'yarkidem, K'voyegel, Levanoi, V'siryon, K'moy, V'neyemim, ay, Kol Adonai, Chaytzei Ravoseish, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Adonai, Vayechesois, Ye'arais, V'hechaloi, V'loi merkavayt, ay, Adonai, Lamabul Yoshev, Yishev Adonai, Melech le'olam, Adonai ois, Li'amo yitein Adonai, Yevorech esamoi v'shalom, Lai, la, lai, 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 la, la. Lai, la, lai, lai, la, la, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Allah bekach, Zati Milcha. L'chodoi ligras kalo, Nei Shabbos nekabelo, L'chodoi ligras kalo, Nei Shabbos nekabelo, Shamai v'zachar v'dibur echad, Yishmiyanu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, Neshama echad, L'shem u'siferes v'nisila, L'chodoi ligras kalo, Nei Shabbos nekabelo, Yeli yikra Shabbos lechuvecha, Ki yimekar habracha, Menaish mikedem neves u'b'cha, Nesubcha Sai v'maseh v'machshavot echino lecha da'edi Kalo b'nei Shabbos nekabelo mi yigdash melech Yir melecha komitzayi Mitorach vecha Rav loch Shabbat B'yemei gabacha V'hu yachmoil Allah yichem lo Lecha Ligeras galo B'nei Shabbos nekabelo Yisnani Me'ofa barakumi Livishi begedai Sifartecha mi Al yad ben isha Beis alachmi Korvo Nahashige yolko Lechadaydi Ligras kalo B'nei Shabbos nekabelo ay yisri kiva rekumi ari shida baby kavod Adonai Allah yichnig lo lechadaydi migras kalo b'nei Shabbos nekabelo lo vavay sevashim l'sikahalmi Ma tishtachachi amatami Bar Yesu ani yahami Venimnesa iratila Vava lehachadaydi Likras kahala B'nei Shabbos nekabela Lechadaydi Niklas kahala B'nei Shabbos V'lo V'ayulim shisa Shai soyich V'rochak kol mevalayich Yos salayich Elohayich Kivzes hasan al-kala Lechadaydi Lekras kala B'nei Shabbos nekabela Lechadaydi Lekras kala B'nei Shabbos nekabela Yominus ma'et ifraitzi V'yeres Adonai ta'aritzi al yadi ish ben parzi v'nismecha benagila lecha habaydi v'nikras kala le'shabos 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 le'kabelah le'shabos ateres balot Yamasuo Mitzvah Segunday Asegunda Baichala Lechadaydi Lekaskala Enei Shabbos Lekamela Lechadaydi Lekaskala Enei Shabbos Lekabelo. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here in Allerton. Wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. It was lovely to see comments coming in from all over the country, and we look forward. I'm sure you're already looking forward to next week's broadcast, wherever that may be from. Wish you Shabbat Shalom, and we hope one day to be able to welcome you all here in the shul itself. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We can now have a l'chaim.